Okay, folks, listen, we're gonna get right into this. You already know, you done read the title and you done seen that bomb thumbnail. You know we doing chicken pot pies, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and get right into it. I'm gonna go ahead and start to season up. Look, I'm gonna put a little black pepper. I'm starting with my my chicken, right? Now you guys can use a rotisserie chicken if that's what you wanna do. You know what I mean? It's really up to you, but for me, I like to go ahead and brown, put a little salt in here. I'm gonna mix them all up, and then I'm gonna use my seasoning, right? Now, if you guys got any type of poultry seasoning that you would like to use, you can use that too. But I'm gonna add this in here to that. I'm gonna back up just a little bit so that I don't start sneezing. We'll put this out here so you guys can see it. Don't forget the full ingredient list will be on my website, smokingandgrillingwithab.com, and that's WITAB.com, right? Now, this is gonna be my tool. I'm gonna make everything in this. So we're gonna start off by using our, browning our chicken, right? So go ahead, let me go ahead and start putting a little heat in here. I start off with like just a medium flame, Take me a little cooking oil. My tool of choice is the extra virgin olive oil, right? I know it has a lower smoking point, but that's fine. We just put a little bit of that in there. Now we come to the chicken, right? I'm gonna go ahead and just move this around. And there's a lot of chicken for what we're doing here. I ask you guys, listen, you can go ahead and double this recipe if you got a family of like 6 or better. You know what I mean? And it depends on how much you eat. Really, this do about 4. You know what I mean? But the way we eat at my place, you know what I mean? We probably want to use, yeah, it probably will be 4, So, see that right there? I'm not going to do no trimming. All of that's going to be the flavor, right? This ain't the Marie Callender's chicken pot pie. Okay, so as this heated up, that was, I left this part when I seasoned enough time for it to marinate. You know what I mean? But you want to get it. I didn't put a lot of pepper on there because when you put pepper on there, it kind of tends to burn, right? So I'm going to start with the top. That's what I call it. And by the way, these are boneless, skinless thighs, right? So we'll just put them in here just like that. And then when I get them in here, I'm not gonna move them, right? Now all we're gonna do is just like really brown these and kind of like cook them up. You guys be the judge how you gonna do it, but that's how we're gonna start them right now. All right, so look, I'm gonna just open this right now while I get that going. As we brown it, just so you guys can see it. This is it right here. Puff pastry. If you guys haven't been working with this, you're gonna be amazed. Hey, it does exactly what it says, folks. Puff when you cook it. Hey, let me just say this. I'm gonna go ahead and date myself. How many of y'all out there remember that show used to come on called HR Puff and Stuff? Talk to me down in the comment section below. Now, if you guys pay attention and look down here, can you see the way the cooked meat is starting to rise up? You mean see how this is? Now, don't forget, this is boneless, skinless chicken thigh, right? So it's already been, deboned and it's opened up and it's flat. It's not like we're trying to do a thick breast, right? So now, here's the key. Whenever you browning something or something like that, or you cooking it, or even the sear, I should be able to pick this up like this with no stick. It's not quite ready yet. You know what I mean? You really shouldn't even do that. I like to just do it like this and just push it over it. Once it moves, once it releases from the bottom of the pot, then I know that it's ready. All right, so it's ready to be moved. You see that? So now I grab it and I pick it up and I just flip it over, right? We do the same thing here. Here. Oh yeah, look at that one right there. And here. Now normally when you do a chicken pot pie, you know what I mean? There's different ways you can go ahead and do your chicken, but I like to put the flavor on this. So this is what I'm gonna put in there. I'm gonna shred some of this down, cut it into some bite-sized pieces so that we can enjoy it and eat it. And you can see that fine down there. We put a little seasoning on it. This is how you make one that's over the top. Okay, so now we're getting ready to check it, right? Look, I got a meat thermometer. You see this right here? Happens to be my meat thermometer. You know what? Thank you for all you guys that got these over the holiday. These move like hotcakes. The reason I'm telling you to get one of these, because listen, I run restaurants and work in the food industry. And when you do that, you know what I mean? You want to make sure your food is at the correct temperature, right? So now I'm getting ready to temp it. I'm temping the biggest part, the fattest part of this chicken thigh right here. And look at that right there. We are at 164 there. This one's a little bit low. This is 136, but I'm gonna tell you that's fine. Why? Because we're gonna cook the pot pie. You know what I mean? So don't worry about that. So now I just cut everything off. Now let me get myself a plate. I'll take it out and we're gonna go ahead and just like shred / chop. All right, so what I'll do is I'll just take this one out right here. right? These, I want to like make sure these don't continue to cook as much. Now the reason we take them out a little bit early, there's nothing wrong with cooking them all the way. But the reason I cook them like that is because, you know, we're gonna cook them in the pot pie and they'll finish their way. But you see all of this color? You know what I mean? You see that right there? All that, it picked up a little bit of the fine and all of that. That's where we're gonna get our flavor from, right? Now, this part here is the way you do this. It depends on how big of the bite sizes you like of your chicken, right? So for me, I like to at least know that I got chicken in there. So some of you guys are gonna shred it. You know what I mean? Some of you guys are gonna follow it the way I'm doing it here. But this puts chicken, when I say chicken like that, that means chicken into the pot pie, right? So look at that. You wanna mix that in there along with the potatoes, but you guys get the point. And if you look right here, you can see just how moist this is. Woo-hoo. All right, so we'll just put this in here like that. Now, when we make this, I'm gonna show you guys the bottom of my Dutch oven, right? You're gonna be able to see all of the fine in the inside. You know what I mean? When you look at that right there, just imagine that. We getting ready to make our, you know, our roux from that. And you guys get the picture. We building layers on top of layers. Okay, so look, now we're gonna look right down in this pot right here. I know all y'all can tell me what this is down at the bottom. I'm not finna tell you, but this right here is where you get your flavor from. You can type that down there too, because we got some conversation to make. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and bring this back up to some heat. I'm gonna start with like a low, just get everything nice and warm, and I'm gonna bump it up to a medium, just a medium flame. And then what we wanna do is we wanna start by adding our butter to it. Now, this is gonna be key. You saw that down the bottom. I gotta be able to say what it is now. Listen, this is called the fine. Now, when I melt my butter and all that, it's gonna give it a little bit of a different color, and it's not more traditional. It's not as traditional as you guys are used to seeing it. You know what I mean? Because usually when you make a pot pie, you know, it's kind of like a whitish, clearish type of, look to it, right? But for me, I want to get all of the flavor. This is why when people eat one from myself, they want to know, like, hey, what seasoning do you use? Same ones everybody else use, but I'm not finna clean the bottom of that. I'm gonna use that flavor, infuse it with this butter. You know what I mean? We're gonna put this flour in there once it melts, then we're gonna hit it with that chicken broth. Okay, so come here, look, you can see the color what I'm talking about. Just by having the butter, it starts to pick up some of the fine, right? So now we'll just start adding some of our flour to it. I do mine in increments. You guys can do it any way you want to. I say it in several of my videos. I've had several chefs come here and tell me like, hey, it doesn't make a difference, AB. You can put it all in there. You know what I mean? But I be watching them lumps and how much time I spend on them trying to whisk them and get them ready. You know, get them to be, broken up and to be smooth. So I'll start out with this. If you guys have been with me for a minute, you know I love my square edge, right? But I think this is gonna be a job for my whisk. Right, so what I'm doing now is I'm cooking that flour taste out, right? Just let it stay on the bottom right there. The whisk is scraping up the bottom, getting some more of the fine in there. So now you know the color of our roux and what the sauce is gonna be like that goes in the inside, right? Okay, so once you cook the flour taste out, right? You can look at the color. Now, we're not making a gumbo. We don't wanna get that too dark, right? So now I'm gonna go ahead and start adding my broth. The key here is keep it, keep your wrist moving. You know what I mean? Because you want to continue to whisk the whole entire time, right? Now look at that right there. That right there already tells you that, look, that flavor is in there. You can look at the color and see that, right? I'm just bumping up my temperature just a little bit, and I'm gonna continue to whisk. Now I'm right here next to my stove. Now would be a good time for us to go ahead and preheat our oven, right? So we're gonna be using 400 degrees. So I'll just come over here, hit bake, 400, and start. Now that's going. Now come on back over here and take a look at this right here. Look at that right there. You see that? You can see the fine in there. You can see the color. I promise y'all gonna run to the store and make this all today. I want you guys to see the consistency. That right there is good. Like if it gets too thick for you, you can just always add a little bit more broth or stock, whichever one you're using. So now we just want to taste it and figure out what we want to add to it. Does it need more salt? Do we want to add a little pepper to it? You know what I mean? This right here, give it to us. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna need I'm gonna give it a generous pinch. That's my generous, maybe a little bit more. You know what I mean? Pinch of salt. you know, I like to cook not using as much sodium as possible, right? So don't forget, we're gonna put the chicken in. You know what I mean? We got some other things that got a little sodium in it also, right? So this is coming up, you know, back to temp. Ah, yeah, everything is good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put in some fresh minced garlic. Ooh, look at that right there. You guys ain't got yourself one of these, folks, get yourself one. Cuts down on the time of the mincing and all of that. I know you can buy it in a jar, but this right here is super, super fresh. You know what I mean? So we drop that in, right? We're gonna add a little bit of this cayenne pepper, right? Now we're just gonna give this a little mix. You know what I mean? After I let this, the minced garlic, release its flavors in here, I'm gonna taste it again. Because no matter what the recipe says, it's about how you like it. If you want to add a little bit more of this filling to it, you want to add a little bit more garlic taste, you can. Add a couple of more cloves. It's really up to you. That's one thing I like about a recipe. You don't have to take it literal. It's just your step, your guide to get you going, and then you tailor make it to, how you want it. All right, so when you get to this part right here, right, you tasted it, I tasted it. Listen, the cayenne pepper just gave it a little bit of a, Now you only use a half a teaspoon. If you ask me, that's still enough. You can double it if you're gonna double the recipe, but maybe just like maybe a little bit over that would be just enough. Right now, this is fire, folks. So now what we're getting ready to do is add our onions. Now look, I know that these are raw onions going in here like this. Try it like this. You don't have to put it in the front, in the beginning, before we started putting the roux in there, because what that does is it just starts to saute them. Now, if you want yours done that way, that's fine. But this right here will release that onion flavor nice and strong with the heat inside of this, and it come out fire. Trust me. Right, so now I'm just adding everything that I have left in the inside, minus the egg. All right, so now we'll just start giving this. Now, come on in here and look inside of here. What that look like? Y'all tell me. I love to pop my collar on stuff like this right here, because listen, you can see it, right? And then don't forget, we got to get the potatoes in there, right? That's up to you how much you want to put in there. You know what I mean? Don't forget, when it starts to get thick on you, with all this stirring and adding all of this, when it hit the cold and the hot and all that, it thicken up. Don't forget, you can always add just a little bit of that broth or stock, whichever one you're using, and I promise you to be fire. Once I get it to looking like this, now I'm gonna change my utensil. My oven is up to temp. I'll just add my cream. And now we start adding this chicken in there. Now look at it, folks. You tell me. Watch it come together for you. Wouldn't you want to have that? And we using puff pastry too? Come on. Okay, so look, what you want to do is you want to let this cool, right? So I'm just going to leave the top off, right? Let this cool down. You can put it in the refrigerator, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you can start building up your heat in your oven now. But I think what we finna do now is I'm finna make some room and we get ready to start building these. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some flour down. You guys watch me. Okay, so look, now that I put my puff pastry down, right? You guys, I'm using my kitchen counter, right? So what I did was I put a little flour down so that it can move around and don't stick. Now, this is puff pastry, folks. I'm gonna start right here at the bottom here. If you guys come in here and look, you can see it's got like this little crease, right? We just gonna roll this just a little bit. We're not gonna roll it hard. You know what I mean? We're not gonna roll it, like put too much pressure on it. So we just roll it like that. Like that, then I bring it back towards me a little bit. Do not overwork this, folks. And you want it to just be nice and even. Just what you see. Just wanna flatten it. And that right there, my friend, is him. All right, so once I have it like that, I know you guys see these ramekins right here. I know I need to go ahead and address that, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and scramble my egg because we're gonna brush the tops anyway, right? So let me go ahead and scramble this and then we move on. Now I'm gonna show you this. I got two size ramekins right here. You know what I mean? This is a good size, because it's nice and filling in the inside. Then we putting the puff pastry on the top, right? So when you do it, you don't wanna put this on here like that just to cut it out perfect, right? I have one that's the next size up, that's a little bit bigger because we're gonna fold down. All right, so I'm gonna take this, come to the edge. Be careful, because you just had that flour, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna take it like this, get it closer to the edge as I can, and then I'm just gonna put some pressure on it, like this, right? And then if you would like, you could just go ahead and take yourself just a sharp knife and just run this around like this and trace it, right? Now you see why I ain't got all them knives. You know what I mean? I use my chef knife for everything. Now, we'll just take that up like that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get myself another one. Okay, so look, this is what we got right here. I got these three size ramekins here, and I got a bigger one. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is daddy's right here, folks. You know, just keeping it real with you. So, now remember, we went ahead and scrambled an egg, right? So I'm gonna show you what we do with that in just 1 second. But if you guys wanna see, we're gonna put this over the top and see how we got a little overlap. Now these don't give you as much, right? So look, all you gotta do is take them, and then what you do is you just run the rolling pin over the top to spread them out just a little bit, right? So now we have this. Let me go ahead and get myself something to scoop. When you look at that filling, you look at this right here with this nice crisp white, you can already see what this puff pastry gonna look like. Okay, now with it cooled, I want you to go ahead and look at the texture. You see how I still, look at that right there. See how I still move? It's up to you how thick you want it, but I promise you, you don't want to fall asleep while you eating it. You know what I mean? So just go ahead and get yourself something like this. We know it's already fire because we've been tasting it as we go, making any adjustments that we needed to. And look at that chunk of chicken right there. Yes, sir. So, now one thing I didn't say, which I should have said, everybody, I'm sorry, you guys might can see it, you know, in the background, whatever, get yourself a baking sheet because we're going to put these on there. Now, you see how we put this on top? And then explain to me why my voice starts getting a little soft and all of that when we start doing these little money shots like this. Look at that there, folks. Now look, just to address the part about not having the potatoes cooked, which is fine. If you look at the size of the dice, let me show you. You see that right there? Believe me, 15, 20 minutes inside of this hot oven at 400 degrees, and I promise you those will be nice and soft. So let me fill up the rest, and then we'll go ahead and put the tops on. Okay, so you see these right here. Look, only thing we gotta remember to do is make sure these fit over the top, right? I know this does. Now don't forget, we scrambled, right? So I'm gonna take my brush and just brush the outer exterior, right? With a little bit of this egg right here. Look at that. Yes, sir. And then we go ahead and get our top. We just center this over here just like this, lay it right over the top. And then what you want to do is you just want to kind of like just press this down a little bit. If it come up, don't worry. You know what I mean? Don't worry, it's gonna do its thing. Now you see I got this pan here. Listen, if you don't want to clean that oven in case something boil over, you know what I mean? You want to just leave it like that, right? So that's good. I'll give it this one last final pat right before I put it in the oven. Now, these right here, these are almost they not quite big enough for me, so let me go ahead and get my rolling pin. You know what I mean? I'm gonna roll it out just a little bit to get a little bit on the edge, get a little bit more edge work. All right, so we just take it there and there, right? Take this. Let's go ahead and get some of this around the edge. Real easy, folks. Hey, this is a nice one to like just level up, and this is shock and awe. You know what I mean? Because everybody gonna be like, man, you didn't make that. Only reason they gonna know you made it because they know that you can't buy nothing in the frozen department that has glass in it like this. If they do, y'all let me know. You know what I mean? Maybe I can quit making it this way and just sneak up on everybody else. Now, we'll put this over here like that, and I'm gonna go ahead and repeat the process. All right, now the last thing to do is just to go ahead and hit these with this egg wash. Now, this is gonna give it that color. This is the part you're gonna love to see right here. It's gonna help this rise, give it that nice golden color. You know what I mean? And I ain't gonna say nothing. I'll let you already done seen it. You didn't see the thumbnail. That's why you here. All right, so you see them all coated up. Now I'm gonna put these in here. We're gonna put them in there. I'm gonna set a timer for 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I'm gonna set a timer for 25 minutes. That's when I'm gonna look at it, right? And then I'm gonna decide, do I need to go a little bit further? You know what I mean? But I wanna see this nice golden brown. You guys will see. Okay, folks, look, I'm finished doing whatever I did behind the scenes, which was just nothing but taking some pictures. This big one is right. Now, I got another one I can show you right here. If you guys look, let me just do like this. Why I don't have no energy is I went ahead and sampled it. Then I decided to go ahead and, you know what, let me just go ahead and have my lunch today. I suggest eating one of these in the evening. Oh, but you know what, it's nice and cold, so you guys can just go ahead and, you know, eat one of these for lunch. This is one of them lunches or dinners that stick to your ribs, you know what I mean, slow you down though. Your boss might not be happy. Hey, with that being said, listen, I'm finna go in here. You guys can come on in here and look. Look at this right here. Oh my goodness, come on. See that right there? Look at that. Oh yeah. Cheers, y'all. Woo, man. I just told you I just had one, then I got a chance to sample a little bit of that one. Man, right now I'm just like on an even keel, you know? Hey, so with that being said, let me know down in the comment section below after watching this, even before you make it or after you make it, let me know what would you do to, you know, level this up. Like I know a couple of things I could have done was, you know me, I could have added that andouille sausage to it, you know? So that's chicken andouille going along with the chicken. You know what I mean? So you guys can just mix the flavors however you want to and just let me know. Now, if you're new to my channel, let me take this time to say thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, smash that subscribe button, and just tell everybody out there, right? Listen, there's a channel out here that's simplifying these recipes and taking the mystery out of cooking. As much as I want to pick this up and walk off, I can't do it, folks. I'm out. Peace.